Incoming transmission.
You all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
A stranger
can mean danger. Now I know.
And knowing is half the battle.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Guys, welcome to the PB&J Heroclix PSA. We have tonight both Josafa Alves and Paul Cote. Hey guys, thanks for being here tonight.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
How's it going?
And we have a special guest tonight. We have Eddie Orozco. Is that right, Eddie?
Yeah, it's all right.
We have Eddie, our Heroclix Mexico national champion. Thanks for coming on to the show, Eddie.
Yeah, it's me. Hi, how are you?
I am tired. Thank you for asking. Tonight's episode, we'll try to make it a little bit shorter than usual, just for time constraints. But I would like to talk to Eddie about his journey winning Mexico Nationals. And then I would like to talk to Josafa about his experience making top 8 for U.S. Nationals.
All right.
And then if we have time, I would like to see what we can discuss about our preparation for Worlds. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Josafa. Joe, we went to U.S. Nationals last week. Tell us about how you got there, what the experience is like, and then we'll follow up with your matches.
All right. So first of all, it was my first in-person nationals. I had played a nationals already, but it was an online event. So this was my first nationals event, and I was super excited about it. My flight got in there at a good time. And it was just, the experience overall was really, really great. One, because you're playing in-person clicks. I think nothing beats that. And two, I was finally going to get to see a lot of people with whom I had played online already, but I had yet to meet in person. So I got to meet, Daniel Powell, got to meet Jason Alves. Pretty much just the whole community over there, and it was really, really nice to see everybody in person. Also, got to see some of my teammates again, which was really, really nice. They had been quite a while since the last time I had seen them, so that was really cool. So it was really, really cool experience for sure.
Would you try to go next year if you can, if they hold it at Gen Con?
Definitely go again. It was so much fun. There was so much to do. And you're at Gen Con, so there's always some interesting board games or other games that's going on elsewhere. So you if you manage your schedule well, you should be able to go try some demos, play some different games, and and it's just cool to see everybody dressed up, and it's a little wacky, but it's super fun.
Did you get to do any side events besides the qualifier and the top cut?
I did. So sadly, I was not able to do the Exo Swords as the storyline, because let me just tell the story how it happened. It was really weird. So I was signed up for the Friday pod, but Gen Con had made so I didn't know that you were only able to sign up for one of the qualifiers at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw them all available online, and I just went ahead and just got all of them. I didn't know, I thought I could go on to multiples or whatever. And so what they do is they refund you. So the time that I really wanted to play at, they refunded that time, and it got filled up, so I couldn't get back into that queue, into that tournament. And I had purchased other tickets for other events, and so that messed up sort of what because I was hoping to be able to play in the storyline. So that really, really sort of messed me up a little bit.
Yeah.
But so I missed that, but I got to play Battle Royales. That was a lot of fun. I played like in 4 of them and racked up a lot of like great prizings from that. So yeah, and then just because of nationals, I wasn't able to play in any other ones because it just consumed the whole time pretty much. But yeah, but it was still it was a blast.
So let's talk about your qualifiers, or the qualifier tournament that you had to do. It was 8 people or 16 people?
Yeah, it was. There were 16 people in the pod, and you had to play four matches, and then the top 2 from the 16 would be in the top 16 at nationals, right?
Top four, I believe, right? Because there's only four pod tournaments.
Oh, wait. Is it only no? So I'm sorry. So I said 2, but I think it's the 4 that
Yeah.
would make because it was for top 16. Yeah, I said it wrong. Yeah. So there were 4 pods. So it was the 4 people from each. The top 4 from each pod would move on. Yeah.
So let's get into what you played for the tournament. Just to clarify, you had to play the team for the qualifier and for top cut, the same team, right?
I did not. I did
No?
not have to do it. I could have changed it
Oh, wow.
because I think they took. It wasn't like you were playing one event. I think they treated it as a qualifier, like a separate event, so you could change your team if
Okay.
you wanted to.
Okay.
So I chose to play an unthemed team. Ooh, surprise there, everybody. So I played like a typical team that I like with a whole bunch of good stuff. My team consisted of Hamurai, Sakara and Iron Man, um, the Commissioner, 30 Point Flash, Venom Magneto, Marvella, Molecule Man, and a Maggot. And the idea of the team was pretty much just trying to jam in there as many attackers as I could that were solid enough to carry the game. So I had Maggot, who all know is fantastic. Hammer Eye is great. We had Sim, which was fantastic as well. The Commissioner. So I had a big number of attackers that could get the job done. The Flash. So every turn, pretty much, I had 2 people, at least 2 people, getting in there and getting the job done. I played Emotional Modifier and the Cloak as well with that squad.
So how well do you remember your matches? Are you able to go over round one going forward?
Yeah, I sure I don't remember all my opponents' names, so that's sad. But I was I was not very good at taking the notes that I usually take.
Uh,
Um,
I had never taken notes. So, so round one, tell us how that match as best you can.
so yeah, I remember that match pretty well actually. So I faced Thanos. And my team was pretty well geared to face Thanos because one, I had emotional modifier, and I also had a way to kill Thanos if he moved up to destroy my modifier if he chose the right map where he would be able to do it. So most opponents were really not prepared for that. They're not really used to you being able to cross the board and just kill Thanos at once.
Yeah.
So basically, the way I would do it is I would just choose Thanos with Hammer Eye. And then if he moved up within reach, I would TK out the Flash. And Hammer Eye would just move up the 12 copying Underworld, and he would be able to carry Maggot and Marvella. And then Marvella would sidestep, get Hammer Eye close to Thanos. Then you get your free attack. Then the Flash comes in with 2 attacks. And then you have the Pog with an attack and poison. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks and a poison. Most of the attacks are 4 damage. One of them becomes a 5 damage because I pick up a light on the way. And that just does it. It's like it's an exact-seas math to take him down.
Very cool. And you're guessing that you won that game, right?
The Thanos got the map, and he what he did was he moved to the middle of the map. Like he moved to somewhere like forward, thinking that he was safe. He didn't see he didn't see the play that I had with all that damage, and the game was just over pretty much. Killed Thanos on my turn 2, pretty much.
Yeah, I think whenever players go to these big tournaments, and they have I'm pretty sure they practice their team, but they might not be aware that for some other players like myself, you, Paul, or Daniel Powell, or PJ, uh, with all the online practice that we've done, uh, the meta was super aggressive, very mobile, where we had to be we have to come up with a plan to try to get full map reach either first turn or second turn, no matter what. I find that players that are able to pay attention or make the time to get that practice in are almost always surprised when they
Yeah,
lose
he
that.
was shocked. He was absolutely just he was just gobsmacked. He was like, I can't believe this just happened. He literally said, this has never happened to me before.
Yeah,
I
I,
said like, well, yeah.
yeah, I've done that before as a Thanos, and it was on normal death too. And I was like, I can get there. Are you sure you don't want to, I don't know, position differently? I was like, I could destroy this wall and that wall. He was like, no, let me see what you got. And I showed him what I got. And it's like, oh, okay. Uh,
You asked for it. Here it comes, right? Yeah.
uh,
So that was so I killed Thanos, and in the way that I had my pieces positioned, I really didn't give him a lot. So that was a 300 to zip. I cleaned up afterwards. He was really not able to do anything.
Eddie, real quick, Eddie, uh,
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I don't mean this to offend, but I've never seen you before, and I've never really seen most other international players, so I'm not familiar with 99, 98% of them. I'm very curious what your practice is like. How do you prepare for a big tournament like this?
Well, I'm not from I'm not from Mexico City. I'm from a really small city. So here in my town, we are like mm, maybe 10 players, but in this level of play. So I connect to Roll20, and I play a lot with other guys from Mexico City,
Okay.
and we check a lot all the things that you share on Facebook, all the teams that won uh, first, second, and third place
Uh,
on Roll20. So we have an idea of what we can match on the nationals, because I'm going to be honest, a lot of people copy all the teams, and some other people go with his own imagination. So, but maybe half of the people just check too much the teams that are already winning and copy them.
do they
So
practice with the team though?
yeah, we have the all the pieces in physical
Yeah.
here in
Uh,
my house. So yeah,
well, I know some people, over here, people also copy the other people's teams, and I think that's okay. If it's a good team and you like it, you should be able to play with it. But you can't just assume that because it's a good team that you know how to play it. Does that make sense?
yeah, of course, and we are prepared for that teams, because we know that 100% we are going to face Thanos. So we practice a lot against Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that you guys play on World 20.
Yeah,
Hopefully, I can get some of y'all to play in my tournament sometime. I'd love to have you.
yeah, that will be great. I don't know why I don't have the enough confidence to do it, but I'm going to do it. someday.
Oh no, Eddie. My tournaments. I know there's nationals and world players that play in my tournaments, but no, this is if you can tell your friends and the other players that think of it like your local store where there's a lot of really good players. It's we're just here to try out a bunch of different teams, and it can't be very competitive. But we're here to have fun and hang out while we try out these really really horrible one-turn teams.
Yeah. So,
But
some guys don't have the confidence, and other guys don't really like to play on roll 20 because they think that the experience is not enough.
no, yeah,
So
yeah, like
yeah, we need to change that.
well, it's like Josafa said earlier that nothing will replace in-person play. Like all Roll20 can replace it for some people, but for me, the guy that actually runs these tournaments, it's supposed to be a home where we can play online, but it's more to uh, allow people to not abuse their local community. but, well,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not fair, right? To
Right.
play Thanos at your local store on a regular Tuesday or Wednesday night. That's not nice. Uh,
Here in my town, we don't even have any local store. We don't have.
no?
So we only play from houses. Yeah.
Okay, that's even worse. Uh,
You might end up losing some friends or kicked out of some people's house,
yeah,
right? Show up with Thanos every week. You probably, oh god, the Thanos guy is here again. Let's kick him out.
Yeah, sometimes we log Thanos really, really far, so we don't play it anytime.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's what Roll20 is for, is to practice new stuff and make new friends and learn new strategies. And it's so much fun to meet new people and to get a bunch of games in. So if the tournament is too intimidating, where you don't have the confidence to participate, you can just practice or just watch. All your friends, anybody, anywhere, it's allowed to just come into my Discord and just listen and watch. Uh, uh,
Right?
and hopefully that will help you feel a little more comfortable in participating.
You're right. I understand.
Awesome. So let's go back to Josafa. So Josafa, you beat this guy very badly in round one. You spanked him in 2 turns.
Yeah, it was about two turns. My third turn, it was over.
So round two, you are playing against another undefeated player.
Right. And I remember who this person was this time. His name was Kelby, and he was running a Spider Family team with Miles West,
Oh,
bringing the Flash and Commissioner and all that sweet
yeah,
jazz,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I know that team. It's a celebrity police team with the Spider-Man family, bringing it all together.
You know, you know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a
So
pretty good team.
this game was a very yeah. So he was this guy's a really nice guy, and he had a little bit of unluck with a little bit of lack of luck in this match because he lost map. I won map versus him, and I think that really really made a big difference. I'm not too sure that he had too much that he could do versus me because having Molecule Man plus Marvella, no matter where he takes me, right? Unless it's the rookie shooting,
Yeah,
um, there's not a lot that he's doing. I also have access to because I make my own rookie,
yeah,
and I feel that like a lot of my key figures would have stealth. I don't think his squad had the tools to get across the whole map and provide enough offense to phase me. Where it would have hurt me would have been because he could have taken away my my emotional modifier. But anyhow, the way the game went was I chose map and I took him to the abandoned Weapon X facility. And this map is really tricky because it has an easier side to play on. It's the map. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's the map that has the split sides. And for one of the starting
You
areas
said
has
it's
like split.
Weapon X is what it's called?
Yeah, Weapon X facility. The abandoned Weapon X facility. So
Abandoned? Okay.
one of the sides has like a split starting area, and then the other side is just a normal starting area. So a lot of people have a little bit of trouble starting on the side that's split because one, they have to split their forces. The TK lines are a little bit wonky, it's a little bit weird. So it's hard to like get your equips if you're relying on TK.
This is a
And so
weird map.
excuse me?
This is a weird map.
Yeah, it's a very weird map. It's a very cool map. So he chose the easier side to play on. So I double equipped and I believe that the big difference maker here in this match was Molecule Man because I was able to bypass his barrier, start off ahead, killing like a support piece. And by doing that, it provided me with the pressure that you need to apply because like you're ahead now, but I can still do it and have cover from my barriers and stuff. So this forced him into um, taking an angle of a fight where it wouldn't be the ideal angle. He went for my flash. He killed my flash, but my charge flash. But after that, his whole team was pretty much exposed, and my team just went to town. And then the combination of the PDs and the charge flurry and the poisons, right? That really made a huge difference in the game. And I think that once that happened, it was just hard for him to catch back up.
It looks like he stepped away for a moment.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So, oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So the game was pretty quick in that sense that I was kind of like ahead, and from that point on, it was pretty much just me sort of riding the advantage that I had created, and then he had some bad luck. He had some a couple rolls that were not going his way, and I guess all of that made a big difference and just swung the match my way. So I was able to win. I think I got like 200 and I might have wiped him. Not too sure, but at the end, it was either like 260 something to I think he killed like a couple of my smaller. He killed the Flash, and he might have killed something else. But I think it wasn't. It didn't go his way for sure.
So where were you on points and record at that moment?
I'm like nearly 600 points, like 560, 580.
6580. Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like that's really important. Like when you go to these big events and you have it's like a qualifier, only 3 or 4 rounds. I feel that playing for points is where you gotta be at. Because a lot of people won't make the cut just because of that point swing, right?
Right, because especially this qualifier.
Exactly.
This one, for those that don't know, it was there was a lot of 3-1s that didn't get in.
A lot of them, yeah. Right? Yeah, and a lot of them with like a quite decent amount of points. Like some people probably were near the 500 point mark, and that's still wasn't enough, right? I think we were basing the cutoff like a baby. Like when we were talking about it, we were talking like 600 in the 600 to 700s where you would want to be sort of safe to make it through, right?
Right. Okay, cool. So yeah, and there were some big names that that didn't make it through either the first time or didn't make it through at all. And it was like, whoa, that was a shocker.
Yeah, there were quite a few names for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Good times.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that was that was my round 2, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So moving to the round 3, I faced PJ Ballin. And PJ's a good friend and a great player. I mean, he needs no introduction, I think. And PJ was on Scientists with the what's the demon in an armor, right? So he was on Scientists with Demon in an Armor, and he was playing the wizard, the Prime Wizard that lets you target, ignoring pretty much like, so if as long as Wizard has the line of fire to the character, then everybody else just cannot be hindered, pretty much cannot be blocked. So it's like you just get free shots, free outwits, free everything you need to do versus the person.
Right. So Wizard can see through everything but blocking, and then he can give a free action to basically choose one character and ignore it for the rest.
Exactly. So what he does is he has Green Lantern and Wild Card. So he copies Green Lantern and he moves his whole team as a block, and then he positions it in the perfect way where he's gonna get the person who he wants. And then he positions in a way where he'll get the PDs. So you're going to be like a -2 or -3. And then he'll have like Sim come and do like a 5 damage shot, right? Basically outwitting whatever he needs to outwit and get rid of everything he needs to get rid of.
And he picks a map with like tons of elevated, I assume, like Ultron's layer.
So he chose the Asgardian fountains, I think. The one that's like water in the middle, and then it has like 4 elevated blockings in the middle. Because that map, there's nothing that stops him from outside of the elevation. You know, he sees, you know, like he nothing blocks his wizard pretty much outside of opposing barrier, right? So he just goes with Molecule Man, clears that up, whatever he needs, and then he just does his thing. Yeah. So the superstars for me on that match. Well, he has to kill Maggot in that matchup because Maggot is just too good versus all the fluff that's on Scientists, right? None of them really have any like real solid defenses, so the poison just eats through everything. So like basically one pulse wave and one poison, I would kill like 3 to 4 characters like easily on his team. Right? So basically he has to one shot the Maggot, and he knows that, so he comes, he does it, and I'm expecting that too. So he just kills the Maggot. And then it becomes an interesting race where I get to do my alpha versus his squad, and do the best that I can. So basically in this game, so in my alpha, I was able to get way more than I would normally get. I did need basically maybe like 6s and 7s to hit. And so it wasn't like impossible. And I was able to achieve that. So like my Hammer Eye went in, killed 2 people. Flash went in, killed 2 people, KO'd 2 people. So basically I took out, I believe it was the Wizard, because I didn't want to have to deal with that again, obviously. I took out the frontliners that he had put, which was like basically Team Lantern. So I cleared Team Lantern out of the way. I cleared the Wizard. I cleared the Charge Flash. And I believe I killed his Molecule Man as well. Yeah, that's what I did. So because I knew my Molecule Man would get to shine once his Molecule Man was gone, right? So that's what I went for. I did that. It went really well. I managed to hit a Pulse Wave, and I got his whole squad except for the 18 defense people, who was just the demon, I think. And everybody else got hit. And then we went back. We went at it, man. It was such an interesting game. We had like a crowd watching us because it was such an interesting game. Because I started missing, and then I have a good friend, Pat. Pat usually says that it's not a real game until both of you and your opponent have missed, right? So, and that's what happened. So basically he goes, he kills 2 things, he KOs 2 things, and then he wasn't able to clear his sim, that was a big deal. And I wasn't able to clear mine either, and that was kind of a big deal too. And then, but we went at it, and then I had because I was way ahead at that point because I had KO'd 4 of his characters, but I had a sequence where I could not hit a 7 to save my life through probs and through like multiple attacks. And I kept trying, and I missed like a full round of stuff, like no go. And then he started catching up, and so we started going back and forth. In the end, it was a very exciting game. It was like Demon in Armor and his sim versus my sim. I had a destroyer out at that point. And I had Venom Magneto, and I think that was it. And then so we kept going at it, and it got to the point where I had the attack for the win, even though I had missed like a gazillion 7s at that point. I had an attack for another 7 to KO his what's it called, his demon, and win the game pretty much. But I whiffed again. So then the time was called and he got it. So it was a great game though. Like I had like probably 200 or close to like 200 points. And so I was okay with that. I lost, but I had like a lot of points in that game. So
nice.
Yeah,
it's a very strong team. Sounds like Demon in the Armor would have was very helpful there versus yours.
It was helpful, but it wasn't really. I mean, like I played for the 7s most of the time there, and it just was not connecting. Like it was just really not connecting. My pulse waves went all through though, so that was good.
I wonder how that team's gonna do when you can pulse wave for 2 with the that tarot card.
Not just that, not just the tarot card, but even just Nimrod Prime, right? I mean, Nimrod, if you run up like that, and Nimrod Prime is top dial, that's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah, I don't. It's one of those things I don't know how often it's gonna come up, but that might scare me from playing that team. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Cool. So just to shed some light on some people, the pulse wave is very important because even though it might not kill everybody, what it does is it shuts off all the durations for the turn. So they have emotional modifier, they have the perplexes they use, they have the outwits they use. So all of that, if you can pulse wave, even if you completely whiff on your pulse wave, it shuts off all of that timing and resets everything. So basically all those powers are reset and you're good to do whatever you wanted to do in the first place. So that's sometimes when you get these shell teams that have a core defender, that's the way that you want to go about it. Like you want to chip in and just drop that defend down first of all, and then you can reset their modifiers or whatever, and then you can have your real your real killer go in and do their thing.
I mean, in some of these teams, shutting off their wild cards is pretty cool too. That could be effective.
Oh yeah, even the wild cards. Yeah, that's a big one that people forget about. Yeah, the wild cards are a big one. Items are a big one. Like the witches, they have the dark hole resets. I mean, it's just really, really powerful at the moment, right?
Yeah. So you're 2-1, but you have a lot of points.
A lot of points. At this point, I'm like at probably 700 plus points or something like that. Like in the near 700 points.
And then your 4th game.
Yeah, and then so we went to the 4th game. I'm trying to remember here who was my. Let's see if I can remember. My brain is so loud. Oh, I remember now. So my last. Oh, how can I forget? So my last opponent was Patrick, who I think he won nationals before. He likes to be on month. Patrick
Frazier,
yes. Okay. Super nice guy. So it was very nice meeting him in person. And he was running Secret 6. Yeah, so he was running Secret Six. He wins map. He takes me to an outdoor map, and he comes and takes. To my surprise, he comes and takes my cloak away from me. Right, I thought he would go for the modifier, like for sure, but he goes for the cloak. So what he does is he takes one of the gigantas. I think he was on like 3 regular gigantas. He was not running the one the version that does like 2 sky tyrants. So he was on like double scarabs, commissioner, sky tyrant, prime giganta, and 3 regular gigantas. So it was like a +8 or something. And so he gives the one of the regular gigantas the dark hold so that he can get like multiple perplexes. And then he makes one of the giant girls.
Sorry, doesn't the Giganta doesn't it become giant though?
Well, only if he wants to. He doesn't need to, right? That's what he does.
Okay. He just
so
does.
He just keeps her normal. He makes the other 2 go giant, and then what he does is he triple perplexes the Giganta's defense, and he sends her out, and he takes her item, right? And then he because he does that, he sets himself up for a quake on your team, and she's a 21, so like good luck, right? So basically, what I do is I don't equip my emotional modifier because I'm not crazy, and I move somebody out just to outwit the Giganta. I outwit her. Quake because I didn't want my whole team getting quaked, and I free TK the person back, and then I just walled up, right? And so he just decides to charge break, TKs the Giganta, charge breaks a wall, clears the line of fire to the flash, and just takes out my flash. He misses a couple of the shots, so he needs like he had to use like his theme teams to make sure that he got it. So he ends up killing the flash, and then that's when Hammer Eye just went to town, man. So because now he was kind of like his starting area was kind of exposed because they don't have a lot of defense, right? They don't have barriers or anything like that.
Right.
I was able to TK my Hammer Eye out. And then Magneto carried everybody to Hammer Eye. And then with the Perplex, I was able to get Hammer Eye all the way across to his starting area and do a free attack, killing his Sky Tyrant. And then I dropped the Poison Paw, got like a big poison, like a 4-character poison with the maggot. And then just went to town. And then so on his turn, he fights back. He kills my Hammer Eye, but now I'm in the middle of the map, set up and protected with all my characters. He did have a very unfortunate sequence of attacks with his Quake people, but so he chose to just triple perplex down Hammer Eye, which I don't think was a wrong call, right? So he retaliates, hits him. And so he ends up getting the hammer because he was -3 to his defense. But the other people who were around, because he only had a 10 attack, he missed those attacks actually. So that was like a little bit unfortunate for him. Now the other thing that was costly for him was to kill. In order to kill the flashes, he had to TK the Giganta on the previous turn. So both of his scarabs were double beaten at that point. That was a big deal as well. So him not having his scarabs minimized what he was going to be able to do on that turn. So then on my following turn, I just cleaned up. Like Sim, who had 2 items at this point, just chose Charge Flurry and went in and killed a Giganta and a Scarab. And then I poisoned the other Scarab again, and then the Pog took care of the Scarab. And the Rookie was able to shoot and kill his Giganta Prime. So it was just savage because I don't think he saw that I could get that far with Hammer Eye and be able to take Hawkman down, right? Take the Tyrant down. So yeah, so that was it. So I got all his figures, or nearly all of his figures. But so I was like probably like in the 1,000 points, near the 1,000 point mark at that point. And it was safe. It was safe that I made it in after that.
Well, good times. Good times.
Yeah. Welcome back, Brad.
Ready to go for the actual main event?
Yeah, I'm ready. I mean, I'm good to go.
Brad?
Well, I think we should just carry on then. I think he's having some audio problems, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, so all right. So basically, so on to the top 16. So I was very excited, and there's a player who's a friend of one of my teammates, and he has been doing very well. He's won a couple big events up north. He's been playing mystical with the Lokis, right? So his team is basically Blackheart, Lokis. He runs Faust. He runs the 25-point that 25-point Enchantress that has Outwit Decay.
Yep.
And he runs Jubilee. And I get paired up versus him. I think it's Robert Boehm, something like that is his name. Really nice guy too, and he wins map, takes me to X-Men map, of course, the Otherworld Castle. The Jubilee, of course, you would expect that. And a couple weird things happen. He doesn't go for my item. Like he has the opportunity to KO my item, but he doesn't go for it. So I equip both. I set up as best as I can. And I'm expecting a big Jubilee, shot. He sets up for it, and he carries all his Lokis out to my side of the map so that he can get all the probs there. And he one-shots my maggot. So he kills my maggot, and then he decides to put some damage into Hammerai. So he shoots with his Blackheart. He takes a shot at my Hammerai, puts some damage into Hammerai. But then I'm able to pick up and equip the emotional modifier, and I think that was the big deal in the game, because that it ended up biting him afterwards. Because so I pick up the emotional modifier, and on my turn I choose Pulse Wave, and he had all those Lokis just right there, and I was able to KO like all those Lokis with my sim. And then to make things worse, he does like a prob, and then he used, because there was like 2 figures that could see me that were out of the Pulse Wave, and for some reason I never knew this, but Jubilee is actually protected Pulse Wave. I don't know. So that was a shocker for me.
What do you mean protected Pulse Wave?
So she has one of her powers actually gives the all cap protected Pulse Wave, and she just protected from Pulse Wave. So like that's it.
Like no damage?
That's what was ruled. That's what was ruled there at the event. So like I was not able to damage her, and she was able to prob inside my Pulse Wave. And basically,
it would be weird if like her being a giant was turned off or something like that. Like that's kind of
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. So she's just basically protected Pulse Wave, and I thought it would be just the power. That's how I learned, but I guess I was wrong, which is fine. It's kind of sucks to discover that in the top 16, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah. All caps protected Pulse Wave. Look at that.
Yeah. So then that really shocked me, but I still got. So then he probbed it, and then he probbed it with one Loki who was out of the Pulse Wave, and then I rolled crits, a crit hit, and that was super brutal. And then it put the real Loki on like click 3 or something, and it hurt everybody. It put his Blackheart in the stop click, and then I did that, and then my flash goes in. I go after his Faust, and I roll a critical miss.
Oh.
Right. So I got a critical hit and a critical miss right after. had a problem with my only prob, and he rolled a 4 and canceled it with Faust. Just the dirtiness, right? And then so I missed that, and then I used the flash to go up and finish off the real Loki, and I killed the real Loki, and then I lose my flash. But basically, with that, I was able to and then my hammer eye goes in, and then the hammer eye finishes both the Faust and the Enchantress. And at that point I didn't really want to go for black because I feel it's like a lot of commitment that I would not be able to finish off at that point.
Yeah.
And so basically he has a turn with his Blackheart, he flurries, and he ends up KOing one of my figures that was like near next to him. And then I got a lucky shape change on one of the attacks. So my hammer eye survives. And then he kills a guard and he tries to flurry again, but he actually has to break away. He can't flurry without breaking away.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he fails the breakaway.
Oh.
So the game was very exciting. So we went back and forth there. And then that was the big moment of the game where I was able to, and a lot of the misses that he had from this point on was because Marvella picked up the emotional modifier and was on -1 attack, and that really, really hurt him, like really bad. And then my sim finished off his Jubilee because then I flipped the modifier to Battle Fury.
Yeah.
And my sim just sidestepped down with Flurry and was able to take out the Jubilee. And I made a huge blunder at this moment. I forgot that Jubilee had Mystics only from ranged. And he was like, hey, the Mystics. And I completely forgot as well. And we both forgot. And I just killed my sim for no reason.
Oh.
No.
Yeah. So that was brutal. Like later I was like, oh my God, how could I forget that? But then at that point he was done with all, like I killed his black. So the way I killed his Blackheart was really cool, dude. So like I barriered him in. I got my figures close to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I barriered him in and was able to kill the Blackheart because he couldn't generate the soldier next to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got the Blackheart eventually.
Very smart.
So I think I might have killed the Blackheart first, and that's how I ended up like with the last click with my sim, and then my sim was able to finish off the Jubilee afterwards. But yeah, so it was a crazy game, and so at that point he has like Sentinels. He generated Sentinels on his base. Like he has like 2 or 3 Sentinels coming my way, and as they're coming, Magneto at this point is the shooter because I have nobody else. Bella, Magneto, and Molecule Man. And Molecule Man is just split defense, and Magneto take shots, and then barrier, and then he couldn't do anything because of the range. And then he came closer, and then I dipped to the other side of the map, and then we were just playing cat and mouse, and me killing a Sentinel like every other moment that I could.
Very cool. And this is round 1 of round 2 of top 16.
This is round 1 of top 16, and this is the guy who eventually made it to second place. This guy that's playing the Mystical team, he made it to second place of Nationals.
So you won this match right here. You basically went undefeated, right? All the way to top 8. Spoiler alerts.
No, I lost. I lost to my third match, right? I lost to PJ.
I thought you were the top seed.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I heard that you were the top seed. I guess I heard right.
Might have been the top seed. I don't know. Maybe everybody lost. I don't know. Everybody lost one. I don't know.
I'm confused though. So you lost on the top 16.
Okay, so
that's right. They did 2 rounds of Swiss, right?
Yeah, right. It was just weird, but yeah, they did 2 rounds of Swiss,
right.
And then they did pairings for top 8 after that, which is weird.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was a little bit different than normal for sure. And my second opponent in the top 16 was Isaac, who won the whole thing. So my top 16 was not easy, I'll tell you that.
Not bad.
Yeah, so you taste
Uh,
Wow.
so let's get into your second match of top 16.
This is it, Isaac, yeah.
Okay, and then you beat Isaac you beat Isaac, right?
Yeah, I beat Isaac, yeah, I did.
And then you played Dan Powell top 8.
Correct, and then I lost to Dan Powell.
I can't. Did you already go over your match with Dan Powell? Because man, I'd like to hear about that one.
Sure, yeah.
Or is it getting close to exit time for you?
Right, I know. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, no. We can always come back next time as a special treat for everybody else. Because I'd like to get to Eddie, and I know it's.
Yeah. Sounds good. No, sounds good. So basically, versus Daniel Powell, he wins map, and he takes me to an open map where he's able to blow up my mushroom on fire. He does so, and he does the correct play, which most Thanos do, which is blow it up from further range. So instead of perplexing Thanos' defense up, you perplex the range, so it's harder to get to things. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's what he did, and he blew it up. And then because he did it that way, my setup wasn't perfect, so there was like a slight mistake on my part there. Not a big mistake, but just a small mistake. I don't think I would have had it anyways. So the big challenge there becomes that I have to TK, because he's a little further out, I have to TK somebody twice in order to get to where I need to get to, right? And I still need to do that, and I still need to get my molecule man within range to be able to do what I need to do. And that was the big challenge. So I still go for it because I feel like if I could put, Thanos on, that he's sort of like relying on good gem rolls, and I'm within a turn to kill him possibly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I go for it, and I needed like a 6, and I missed. And then it was just a game where it wasn't it was a very uneventful game where he everything just worked out for him. Like he, not saying that he won because he was lucky or anything like that, but it just, the actual fact is that he capitalized on my inability to hurt the Thanos very well. So he was able to KO multiple of my figures. He hurt the right people. He mind controlled and pushed people back. And that just made it even worse. So, I mean, I did the best I could. I was still able to come back to somewhat of a fight. I was able to KO almost all the other figures except for Molecule Man. And I ended up just with my sim on the board eventually. And versus his Thanos and the Molecule Man, and then he ended up getting that. So basically, it was like a little bit of a gamble. I could have set it up in a way, because the way the barriers were, it was a little clunky. So I could have had the prob either on the Hammer Eye attack or on the Flash attack. And I thought it was going to be more important to hit the 5 damage attack as opposed to hitting the Hammer Eye attack. And so but I missed. And then once I missed, now I know that I can only do a certain amount of damage to him. And putting him on click 4 or 5 or 6 really doesn't help that much.
Yeah.
And then it makes things even worse because his damage goes up, and then he also has like a 14-15 attack or something. So I preferred to leave him alone. I went and killed Marvella, who had moved out of the starting area. And I just set up for an alpha on the following turn. And I just needed a couple dice rolls to go my way, in order to jump back in it. But he was able to capitalize on everything that he was doing. He even rolled a crit hit with his rookie, which just threw some more salt on me. It was great. It was a great match. It was great playing Dan. And that was like the fourth, maybe the third. No, it was the second. Yeah, it was the only second thing. I think the strategy versus Thanos was a sound strategy, but it's when you're playing alpha, sometimes that happens, right? You go for it and it doesn't happen, and then you just go burn, 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 burn.
Pretty much, yeah. You live by the alpha, you die by the alpha.
Oh yeah, baby.
All right. Well, thanks for breaking it down for us on the trip. What was the What was the highlight of your trip, would you say?
So the highlight of my trip was meeting everybody in person. Really, really, really. It was fantastic. I mean, obviously doing well at nationals is great and it's wonderful and is it was one of my benchmarks that I wanted to do well. This is like I've done well in some big events in person, but I haven't really done well in such like something like nationals or like worlds or anything like that, right? So it was good to go and just be able to make it there and hang with the big boys. So that was nice. But I think the biggest thing for me was really seeing everybody, meeting everybody in person. That felt really nice, really, really cool. We have such a good community. I think the community is very supportive of the game, and the community, a lot of people are scared to have to play these players, but I'll tell you, it's smooth. The people, the good players, the majority of them. I'm not going to say every one of them, but the majority of the good players, they will, they'll help you out. They will be friendly. It's not as bad as people would make it seem, right? Like I had a blast playing with like, oh my god,
You had a blast with what?
excuse me.
Sorry, you cut out there. You dropped off at the end there.
Oh, I'm saying that most of these places are really, really nice, and they support you. They help you throughout the game more
Yeah.
than you would expect. And I feel that a lot of players have a little bit of oh, I don't want to go to these things because these players have big names or they're just so good or things like that. And I'll tell you, it's really not as bad as you would think.
Yeah.
It's the other way around, I would say.
Well, the Isaac, the kid that won the nationals tournament. Uh, I was intimidated when I played him online. I was like, "This is the world champion, national champion, rock cap champion. I'm just gonna look like an idiot in front of this guy." And he was nonplussed. I mean, he wasn't mean, but he wasn't overly friendly. He was just like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" I'm like, "Hey, I know who you are." It's like that. Uh, it's weird to say that to a kid.
Right, right.
But yeah, he was just so chill, and I was like, okay, it's just another dude. And I played him, I think 3 times or 4 times now, and I've beaten him like 2 or 3 out of those times. And he's like, good game, and I was like, yeah, that's it. And he's like, yeah, you won. All right, see you later. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's really chilled, dude. He's really chilled, and he is and I'll tell you, in terms of sportsmanship and gameplay, like he is the best person to face. He is
yeah,
really chilled. He's just like obviously he's not gonna let you rewind the whole sequence of stuff, but
yeah,
like like if you make like a small mistake and you were like, hey, can I sidestep here? Do you mind if I do this barrier here? And he's as long as obviously the game hasn't developed enough, he's not gonna be a dick about it or anything.
yeah.
And one of the highlights, it was actually funny, was when he was playing his unthemed team and he actually referenced me. He said, just doing a Josafa special, man. So I guess he watches our banter or something.
Yeah, that's what I like about my online tournaments. That some of the players, they get a bit more recognition, for doing things. Like people talk about Paul and you. Someone asked about David, who got second place in last week's tournament with his Mockingbird meme team, the Mission Point team. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
people like seeing people do well. And, coming up with these different builds, and not just the different builds, but also the established or copycat builds. And like, okay, that looks like this guy can also pilot this team pretty well.
That's
Maybe I can play it too.
that's that's because practice is OP, and this is one of the most consistent weekly high level tournaments.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not the only one. There's also some very high level practice that some teams have, and so that makes players better. And so
Yeah.
if you want to get better at the game,
Highly
come where
and it's
the
highly recommended.
players are.
Hey
Uh,
Brad, I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna have to hop off here.
no, you're
It's a
okay.
little bit late for me.
I
Eddie,
understand.
nice to meet you, man. Congrats on your national win. And
Cool.
hopefully we'll see you in Brad's event sometime, man.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, maybe even Worlds. Who knows, right?
Yeah, but
All right. You guys have a good night. Take it easy, man.
Later, Josafa.
Take it easy, man.
All right.
Congratulations. Top 8.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So, Eddie, let's try to talk about your trip to Mexico Nationals. If you're able to remember as much as possible.
yeah,
So tell what did you play at Mexico Nationals?
well, we play two qualifiers. We have two qualifiers.
Oh,
Both of them are sealed. So we play with Disney Plus. I only play one. Well, I pay both, but I I pass on the first one, so I don't play the second one. And I open Doctor Strange Supreme,
okay. Yeah,
and
that's a good one to have in sealed.
yeah, and Wanda, and the other one was Loki Crocodile.
Okay.
So I have Mystics theme. So I lost the first match. Then I won the other two, and on that first qualifier we only go to nationals the first 10. So I go on number 10. So I was the last one to
Oh, wow.
can be there. So the next qualifier, I only watch all the games. I play some side event, and then that's on Saturday. On Sunday, we have the last chance, and the last chance was constructed. So I only go to see the different teams. We can play the last chance with one team and then change it from the nationals. But I think that almost all the people play the same team.
Sure.
So that was good for me because I can see uh, all the movements or things that can help me later. So the first qualifier was like for 42 people, and the
40.
second one, the first one was like 11 o'clock, and the second one at 4 o'clock, and it was from maybe 43 people like that. So we goes later on Sunday on the last chance. I think that there was like 20 20 people there. So to the nationals, we have 24 or 26. I'm not sure how many people be there, but we have Swiss rounds, only three,
3.
and the first one, yeah, the first one, I won the three of them, so I go to top 8 on the first place. Uh, well, my team it's really similar to one that Joshua 12. It was a Secret Six team, but I have something different, and I think that was something, some surprise because other teams don't expect that. I think that almost nobody's here plays radioactive clay
Yeah.
because it broke when you use it, right?
Hmm.
So, but if one of the scarves copy them, the equipment doesn't broke because they don't already have it. They are just copying
Yep.
it.
So,
So,
what was the whole team that you played for the Sunday tournament for the?
okay. It was the Secret Six, and I have two scarves, two Sky Tyrants, uh, Commissioner Gordon, only one Giganta Prime, and only one Giganta the normal one. So I have seven characters on my team.
And then you have the emotional clay. Did you have anything else on the team?
Yeah, emotional modifier and radioactive clay.
Okay,
Yeah,
radioactive clay.
and I think an extra 5 points Aunt Penny's map, but I don't really use it too much.
No, it's just
But
it helps if you don't win that, you know.
yeah, exactly. And well, I won all the maps, so that helped me a lot because I don't have that troubles that somebody kill my emotional or something like that.
Mhm.
I almost I won every on my team matches. I won the map, so I so quick go for my equipment and be ready for the first shot. Well, my first match was against Sky. No, Zakarian Iron Man. It was a Spider-Man family team.
Okay.
Well, I think that against my team, Zakarian Iron Man, I love to go against him because I told you nobody expected that I can use mind control from some object on the floor, 10 squares away from the starting area of my enemy. And Radioactive Clay can ignore everything except characters. But normally I put my object on elevated terrain so I can ignore everything. Most of the people goes with the Zakarian with the cape, and they use a lot of objects, so I can see them throw objects almost all the time. So the things that I do, it's first keep my theme, then the other guy goes to the same. Then on my second turn, I first use Commissioner to put down the Batman robot, the bystander.
Yeah, Rookie.
Yeah, exactly, Rocky. So he has PD team ability, and then one of the Gigantas, the prime one, copy that PD ability, and then the Scarab copy the Radioactive Clay. So I can saw from across the map Zakarian Iron Man with -2 of defense for the PD team ability
Because they're
because
giant,
it was.
so they can see everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I all the time use outdoor. Most of the time I use Otherworld Castle because I train a lot there for all the X-Men teams that I'm going to face on the tournament. So I love that map. I use it a lot. And then the Scarab copy use sidestep to be close from both giants, and then Sakaran Arman has armor keywords, so Scarab have two armor keywords. So I only need a 1/5 to roll 5 to hit him with mind control, and then he can attack with 12 and 4 damage and kill anything I want because most of the times I can use Outwit, and if they have something to protect Outwit, they lose it for the because I have more than 6 secret 6. So it was really easy when I face Zakarian Iron Man. Then if the other team have some stealth or the Zakarian copy stealth, that's the way that they put me something more difficult. But I have the skies ready for face if they get closer to my team. Well, that's the first team. The first team has Sakaran Iron Man, has Agatha Chase, has Blackheart, Marbella, Mary Jane, to be all the team Spider-Man family, and go, I kill them all. So
I'm sorry.
I go
Go
for
ahead.
I go for the next match. The next match was X-Men Team Ability, X-Men Team Team. It was only 3 pieces, no 4. Juggernaut full,
Okay.
175 points. Magneto, the Venom Magneto. Beast, so Beast the prime one. So Juggernaut can copy Flurry and have full charge then Flurry, and well, I strikes first, so I can outwit the charge of the Juggernaut because he doesn't have any protection against the Secret Six.
Yeah.
I think that he don't remember that, so when I outwit that, he goes even with TK and then walk all over the map to be in front of my team, and that was all. I outwit all the defense, I outwit even the stop, and then use the skies to finish him. Then without Juggernaut, that was all for the team.
Oh, wow.
That was yeah.
No, I just thought I felt bad for the guy.
Yeah, I think that well he don't remember, so it was a really bad move. Then I faced the last Mexican champion, and he
Oh,
played a game with Collector. It wasn't a team theme. They play with Maggots. They play with Professor to swap X-Men's, and I think that that was my hardest my hardest game on the Swiss rounds. I don't kill all the team. He goes with in front of my team with Spider Pharaon, with facing teleport charring three of his team players, and he plays a lot with these guys, Wrecker Prime, and goes with his bystanders. So his bystanders goes with one more damage from Collector, but I won the map, so I choose that he first swap things, so he lost some of his bonus for that, and then he goes in front of my team, but he can't kill anyone. So with emotional modifier, I go -1 defenses. Scarabs copy the same, so I can handle that too. Then we goes to top 8. I go first, and the last champion, the last Mexican champions go last. So we have a rematch on top 8,
oh, you
and
played him
that's
again?
what yeah we play again. So he can change some things on the swap. He take better decisions. He goes with 2 maggots. Maggots with poison are really bad for
Yeah.
my team. I don't have releasers. So it was harder. I even think that I'm going to lose that match. I won for team for time. When the judge comes and says like last action, it was a release for me because one more action and he killed me one more piece, and then he goes more points than me. So I think that I has a lot of lucky there,
Yeah.
and it was my harder match. And I don't know if you know about this guy. His name is running. Is the last champion of Mexico, but it's really good player, a
No.
really good thinker.
What was his name?
Ronnie, but I don't know. I don't remember his last name.
Okay. Yeah. It's tough to play against somebody that was a national champion for previous years. But
Yeah.
I liked your matchup. Unless you happen to go second. But the trouble with the Secret 16 is that you don't have barrier anymore. And so, yeah, those maggots can just walk up to you and just
No,
poison everybody. Is there anything else that's good on Wonder Woman that's amazing? I think there's a good common, though. Star Sapphire, she's pretty great. Uh,
yeah, the one are great too.
and the Harley Quinn, the uncommon, she's phenomenal. And the Haganta Prime, she's great.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, the shifting focus Wonder Woman, she's a common. That's a great piece. But
Yes.
yeah, there's that's a great set. Anybody that dismisses it just because it's DC is missing out for sure. So
I think
what's? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, I think that most of the people play Disney Plus because it's the newest set.
Yeah,
So
that
maybe
that
they
happens
enjoy
with a
more.
lot of Heroclix players where we just like to play the newest stuff. Like
Yeah,
Josafa, his team, he played Spider Samurai. That came out almost 2 years ago.
yeah,
Uh, so that's people don't like to play stuff that's old. Just because they've already played it before, they just want to play new stuff, or they already know that Spider Samurai is good, or Scarab or Sky Tyro is good. They just want to try out something new.
That's
yeah, of
true,
course.
but also Disney Plus was a really really powerful set.
Yeah, of course.
Disney Plus is probably the best Marvel set, in my opinion,
Maybe.
in modern right now. Uh, just because there's so many good figures from the commons, uncommons, rares, not just the super rares and chases. Uh, but let's get into your finals real quick so we can wrap up this show and talk about worlds. So,
Well, I was scared to face Thanos, but I didn't. I didn't face him anytime. Uh, on
that
on
happens.
the
Like you practice and practice and practice against a team that
Yeah,
you're scared and worried about, and then you never match up with them.
yeah, that happened. The other match on the top four was Thanos against Animals, and I think almost all the people thinks that they are going to be the final against Thanos against Secret Six, but Animals won. I didn't see the match, but uh, well, that was the last chance to face Thanos, and the team scares me because it was Thanos and DJ Doom, so he can stall my emotional modifier and
Yeah,
put part. But well, against animals have only one um, lockjaw, two maggots, one chase beast, one chase raccoon, high evolutionary prime. So I think that that's all. He won the map. I remember that. Yeah. No, he won the map. It maybe was my first time that I lost the map, and it was on the finals. And he started his movement. He doesn't equip anything. He has a lot of equipment, maybe three on the floor. But he starts with the prime equipped with his perplex. So I can see him almost all the time. I have an interest move on the first time. Even that he starts, he goes outside of the starting area to be closer to my own to use his maggots on his second turn. But I can control Lockjaw with the radioactive clay,
yeah,
and I attack one of his maggots and I use the trait of Lockjaw. If he misses the attack, the target can move with
you have to
laser
get
gaze.
immobile. Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
trick.
So when I do that, if he moves to my starting area, one of his maggots are going to be pissed off, and he can use poison only one time. So that gives me one more turn to equip all of my guys and be prepared to his next move. And he don't remember that I can outwit Top's defense powers using my trait. So he exposed a little bit the high evolutionary, thinking that when I hit him, he's going back to his starting area. But I outwit that, and one of my skies kills it on only one hit of flurry. Then I come back only 6 squares, and that's all of my turn. Then he can decide to be place all his pieces against my sky and kill it, even that he has one resurrection token. But he decides to go against all the rest of the team, and I think that was the big mistake on the match, because he killed Giganta Prime, but he can't kill everything else. He used Outwit to outwit one of my skies. So with the beast, with that beast, he outwitting my outwit, it was going to be really hard to kill him. But he forgot the other sky that was from 6 squares away.
Oh, no.
So I can counter his own outwit, and all of my outwits come back.
Yeah, you have what, 6 or 7? What's in your team?
4 squares.
No, man. How many outwits do you have on your team?
Yeah, I have 6 outwits.
Yeah, it's he needed a lot more outwit on his team.
Yeah. So the other Giganta, the normal one, uses Quakes as free. So Lockjaw can't use Mastermind, then uses Quake as costed action. And I start killing Maggots, then the Lockjaw, and he used Wonder Woman and John Patu. And well, that's all. My last action was with Giganta using his Revelation as free, and then Quake as ghost action, and I kill all the team.
Mm. Well, congratulations on doing that, man. That's
Yeah.
You went undefeated, right? You won all 6 games.
Yeah, I won. It was 3, 4, 5. Let me.
You went 3-0, and then you went 3-0
6
in
times.
Swiss, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that helps make the win a little bit more special, as some people would say, that you won the title undefeated. So that means a lot. You played with so many people at your tournament and you went undefeated. That's very incredible. Thanks for coming
Yeah.
onto the show and sharing your story about the
But-
about your journey.
Yeah. I don't even imagine that I can win, but well, I surprised myself, and I did it.
Yeah, man, you're awesome.
Sweet, awesome.
Since you won nationals, that means you are invited to Worlds. Do you think that you'll be able to go to Worlds this year? Or
Yeah, I need to have my visa. I don't have it. It's going to be my first time in the United States.
Okay.
I need to quickly, if I want to.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Yeah, but a lot of my friends are going to be there.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe using. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I would love to meet them. So what was your favorite thing about your trip to nationals, by the way?
Well, like Joshua, I almost played like 10 years ago. Uh, I don't know all the people in person.
Okay.
I only know them like in Facebook, all the pages in Facebook.
Yeah.
But it was really fun to finally meet them, to talk to them, and sometimes that you are from small town and go to the big city, you think that maybe they are not going to treat you well, but they treat me and all of my friends really good.
I love to hear. That's something that we hear a lot about that we're concerned with going to a new city with a lot of new people. You don't know how they're going to treat you outside the game or inside the game. And the Heroclix community, by and far, is one of the greatest communities. The competitive side of it, I feel like are very welcoming and understanding because I think a lot of us were nervous when we went to our first big tournament.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I can try to help you with your visa thing, so you can participate because I'd love to meet the national champion of Mexico. Uh, do you have a team for Worlds if you do get to come?
Well, it's not like a team. We are from different towns.
Well, I'm sorry. Do you have a HeroClix team
Yeah,
your
maybe
your figures, your
I
army?
want to use it the same thing, the same team, maybe with small changes, using new things from X of Swords. I think that Merlin is going to be really, really hard to kill with my team because my team has a lot of free actions.
Yeah, I was
And
thinking about that for my team. I was like, I don't know if I
yeah,
can beat that team because I have a lot of free actions on my team. I'm sidestep, I poison, dropping maggots, double charge with the flash is a free action. Uh, um,
But
uh,
what team do you think actually fields Merlin?
Thanos, I think.
Okay, you think it's just Thanos Merlin?
Yeah, I think that's the easiest team to just plug and play right now. As to other teams, I mean, his only really good keyword is mystical and ruler, right?
yeah.
So you could play him. Or no, Merlin. What are his keywords again? Cosmic, mystical. Yeah, so cosmic and mystical are the best keywords. He could.
Is he cosmic?
Yeah, he's got cosmic.
I think he plays good with Fausto too.
Yeah, you could make a mystical team with Faust. Y'all helped prove it, and I think the U.S. Nats proved it, and the UK Nationals proved that Blackheart still has a place. We just have to change things up a little bit different because there's still a lot of good pieces to play with him. The Lokis, Felix Faust. There's the Jubilee, if you really can get a high theme count going on there, or you can just go unthinking. Merlin can fit on both, but yeah, Merlin is kind of a pain in the butt to deal with if you're not prepared. If you're aware of what your actions are you're allowed to do, uh, you can be dealt with. I think. Also my team has Molecule Man and Matt
So,
of Jaspers. So my getting all the way across the map with Flash, getting all the way across with my lockjaw chip and then dropping maggots, I actually would not get to uh, do anything except maybe attack with the maggot bystanders because Flash is a double charge and the second charge is a free. To get completely across with the maggots and lockjaw and chip, that's a sidestep. And to make the maggot bystanders, those are two free actions. So with only four actions, those are my only reactions that I can do, so I would be able to poison.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get rid of any barrier that he has. If it's the cosmic Thanos Merlin team, it would be Magic Jaspers and Molecule on that team. And
I
I
think
don't
that
know. That is a lot of free actions. It
it
doesn't.
does, but it doesn't. It's a little bit more defensive. But uh, what's his name, Thanos or Molecule Man, Jim Jaspers, they don't have to use their free actions to use the free barrier. They just use constant barrier and still do everything else that they need.
They could, yes.
because Thanos just needs the free actions to do what he has to, which is mind control and phasing. Uh, and then a costed action. Merlin gives a +1 to the action total, so that's your 4 actions right there. So that's 2 actions right there, and then swapping around with Jim Jaspers. That's your three actions right there, and then if you needed to, you can either do a perplex with Merlin, or you can do more free barrier with Molecule Man. And Molecule Man flies, so he can just carry around Jim Jaspers, and Thanos can carry around Merlin. So it's costed action, so they don't actually have to stick around in a fight if they think that the free actions aren't enough to slow people down. I think that's a team to worry about, Merlin and that combo with Thanos. But for other teams, I don't know. If Merlin had an X-Men keyword, then I would be more scared. uh, but if you, I think you have to be prepared for that. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Merlin, but if you if you're not prepared to only have 3 to 5 free actions a turn, then you're gonna hurt yourself because you're not prepared. You have to think about it in the middle of a game that you're never prepared for. I don't know if you guys played during War of Light, uh, but the Green Lantern Battery also did a similar thing where it limited free actions, and it was super painful for people to learn how to play Heroclix in a very different way.
Right,
Like
and that's before charging and running shot
yeah,
required a free action.
charging, running shot, hypersonic. Actually, hypersonic isn't a free action anymore. But there's your perplexes, your sidesteps, there's your wild card. Uh, and then did we see Outwit? Because that's another free action.
Yeah, it's free action too.
Like that's I hear people talk about how complicated this game can be and how long turns can be, or people. I'm sorry, I'm trying to say that people talk about how people slow play or turtle. They use turtle in the wrong way, but or stalling is more what they're trying to get at. Either slow play or stalling is what people say people are doing in competitive games, but they're really not, I think, for the most part, stalling. It's just that there are so many costed actions and free actions you can make. If you have autonomous on your team, if you make bystanders, and all the free actions, and then there's also the free stuff that isn't actual actions, like with Thanos picking his gems or Sakai and Iron Man picking his powers. That's those aren't free actions, but it's still free stuff to do. Uh, it's there's a lot going on to make a team to play as fast as you can to make it a fair and fun game. But Marlon, if someone finds a team with him that makes it work, will hurt people's brains because nobody's had to really think about like that since 2014, almost 10 years, about free actions being limited. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen someone get confused on how to play the game differently, but it really slows things down uh, when they trying to think of something recent.
Yeah, I've played a lot of Bronze Age, and Green Battery was banned
Okay,
there before it got banned. Yes, it does make people play differently. My thing is just Merlin is a 17 defense invincible 3 clicks long. I
yeah,
I think he dies.
yeah. My maggots could just kill him because they have three empowers on the team. So I would just get. Well, I mean, he also has barrier on the team. So if you don't have the right setup to actually get to Merlin by destroying the blocking trend or removing it with Molecule Man, then he does just die, but you have to actually get to him first, and they're not
Right,
gonna
but
let you
what
do
I'm
that.
saying is that you need to pay 50 points for Merlin and protect him,
Yeah,
probably with barriers that cost free actions.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think
yeah,
I don't think he's my playstyle. Let me just say that.
sure.
I'm not saying he's trash. I just think some people are not accounting for the fact that um, he's only going to hinder another person's team until he dies, and he's at 17 3 clicks long.
Yeah, if he had at least another click for a chase, at least, I mean, you sort of it is a very strong ability, shutting down free actions to a certain amount. But none of his stuff is free. To heal himself or give himself +1 defense, the perplex. Uh, yeah, it will take a very, I think, special player to pilot the team that I just mentioned because that team does have a lot of reactions. But I think there's enough wiggle room to make it happen because uh, something how I play Barrier is kind of like a video game called Gears of War. I don't know if either of you played Gears of War before.
Hmm.
But you know how you can like uh, run up and then crouch up against the wall?
Yeah.
Uh, well, that's kind of how I have played Barrier before, where I would cast an action barrier up ahead and then move up behind that barrier to help me get across the map. And I think that's what this team could do, is to utilize the costly actions because you're not going to be making attacks with Molecule Man or Jim Jaspers, and probably it's actually all on Thanos. And uh, Thanos doesn't have high damage output. It'll only have mind control. With a nerf to Thanos, it'll be a very slow defensive game where they're just going to be trying to mind control you and take little pot shots as a costed action. And they'll just be playing cat and mouse or rope a dope or counter attacks where they hit and run, hit and run, hit and run because that team does not want to stay in the fight up close. Besides Merlin, Eddie, what about tarot cards? Have you practiced with tarot cards at all yet?
No, I don't play any tarot cards. I just come back to my town. I spent like 1 month. The people from Mexico City talked to us about 1 month before the tournament. So I train really, really hard all day, every day of the week, 24/7. So when tournament ends, I slow down with Heroclix. So I don't play in the last 2 weeks
Yeah, no, that's
or three. I don't
understandable. I understand.
I don't buy any. I spend a lot of money for the travel, all the things that I buy, even that I won a lot of prizes. I don't sell it anyone, so I keep them, and I need to stay away a little bit and then come back for doing some X of Swords stuff.
Sure. Highly understandable. When uh, For me personally, I also so with over here with nationals and worlds, even though I didn't play at nationals, I did not prepare myself for worlds at all, just because I was still helping other people prepare for nationals, and so it's hard for me to prepare for two very big tournaments at the same time. You know, Worlds is far enough away to where I don't think I need to prepare that hard yet until nationals is over. So my mind was just focused on nationals, uh, and trying to do both is just too hard for me. Uh, what about you, Paul? I know you've been building, but have you been practicing enough with for Worlds yet, or was it just focused on nationals until nationals is over?
Oh no. I've been I had like a yeah, so I've been house hunting, which has been
Uh,
stopping some of it, but uh I mean, there's the year tournaments which have started tarot cards. Um, I did something with the Eagles and my brother. Um, so I think I've gotten in about a dozen games using tarot cards so far.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I've been trying to get more games in online. Most of them was in like one grueling session where we just try to hammer things out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you told me about that, and that sounded awful.
yeah. There was like a King of the Hill type of thing that we were doing. A lot of Jim Jaspers. Yeah, it was pretty good. Thanos still seems fine. Doesn't seem. I think people are overreacting a little. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't even think tarot cards are as as hugely detrimental to him as people were making it out to sound like.
No, I think it enhances everybody's game, but it doesn't really shut its game completely down unless unless you get that super duper bad timing turn, where like in our game, where you had one of the cards, or it might have been my card, I forget which, that allowed us to re-roll a die.
Yep.
And then the other tarot card was you get +1 to your die roll. Yeah, and you did
And I was
not.
like, I can't go in on these super senses.
Yeah, you
I had
did not
this.
want to go after me.
Yeah. Yep. So that happened with Jackson as well. It was just like, huh, I can't. I was planning to go in on this turn. This was the turn I was planning to start doing stuff with Thanos, but it seems risky when the rollouts are +1. So you're like a 50-50 rollout, and like, yeah, it changes things. It's just, I don't know. Thanos still feels like a Thanos still won that little mock tournament that we had,
Yeah,
that I was talking about. So like, I mean, he's still going strong.
yeah. It's the I don't know what it's like down for you in Mexico, Eddie, but there's up here in the U.S. There's a lot of people are concerned about tarot cards that they think it might be not fun, or it
Slow down the
will
game.
slow down the game, or it will make the game too complicated, or uh, too scary, or that's not the word, too dependent on tarot cards. Every team has to have a tarot deck. I don't think that's true. Because your opponent can play one. They can help you out just as much. Uh, do you feel like you have to have a tarot deck to compete, Eddie?
Well, here I hear a lot that most of the guys from Mexico love the idea of use these new tarot cards. I think that I need my deck if I'm going to be at the world tournament.
Mhm.
Uh, but I don't know. My first thing about that is I need to spend more money that I want,
No, you don't.
and
You can borrow stuff.
yeah, yeah, but I'm like like crazy with that kind of things. I want to have all the things
I understand.
on my
But
own.
if you had to
I,
spend money to come to Worlds or not come to Worlds because you don't have enough money, I would prefer you to be able to come and just be able to borrow stuff.
yeah, of course. On that case, of course. But here in my ordinary games, I prefer to buy all the things that I want to use. But if I prefer to borrow things here in my small town, I think that we don't have already any tarot cards. Anyone.
Yeah, I know
I
it's
need
harder to
to.
get them outside the U.S.
Yeah, well, on Mexico City they have a lot, but here in my town we don't buy anything already. We're going to wait until they go prices down, and
Yeah,
they then try to
uh,
win it.
I don't know how much further they will go down. I don't know if you've been playing long enough, but before nationals and before worlds, prices usually go up.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, here too, but we have prices really different from your prices. Even when we buy something and we use Troll and Toad like some reference or eBay or international groups from Facebook, we have prices really different. Like I don't know, Wizard, maybe Wizard Prime cost $5 on Troll and Toad, and we sell it here from 500 pesos. 500 pesos, it's like $25.
oh wow,
So
Mhm.
it's just some example, but
yeah.
some other things like um, Wanda, the Chase Wanda. Maybe here everybody is going to pay $225 for her. Nobody pays that. Venom Venom Magneto 2, nobody pays that kind of
Uh,
prices. So we have a different market here, and
sure.
sometimes things like team ups or I hope tarot cards go really down if
Uh,
you have enough patience.
well, I have a Venom Magneto that I'm probably not going to play with. So I'm going to check with my old teammates to see if they don't want to borrow it. But if they don't, then I have a pretty good collection of stuff that people could borrow if they need a tarot card or Venom Magneto or a Destroyer Prime. I have that stuff to borrow because when I go to Worlds, I'm just going to bring all of my good stuff, uh, even in some of the not so much played stuff, because there's people that will play the
Oh
the
yeah.
Galactus or
No, no.
I don't know, something that's good, but it's not popular. I'll bring it all. I'll bring the maps. I'll bring the tarot cards. I'll bring it all just in case somebody needs to play with it. Just because I want this not just me, but the competitive community uh, wants you to play whatever you want to play. If you want to play Wizard Prime, but don't want to spend the $25, or if you want to play the Scarlet Witch Chase or Agatha Chase or the Darkhold, uh, and don't want to spend $500 on it down there in Mexico, uh, someone's probably not going to be playing it up here, and they can just bring it with them. You just have to ask. And more than likely, if you give us enough time, we can help you because we want to help you.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah,
And
they're great. They're a bunch of great guys up here.
great.
Uh,
Yeah, and we tell that to the guys that are 100% sure that they are going.
I actually asked for your help, Eddie.
Yeah.
I need your help to get me unbanned from Heroclix Mexico Facebook group.
Okay. Yeah. Don't do that.
I used to spam a lot in that group, and they didn't like that, so they banned me. I'm hoping
Really?
that maybe I can get some people to help me get me unbanned, so I can share this episode in your group, so people can hear our conversation.
Okay. I know all the managers from the group.
Oh, you do?
I can.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, if you can message them and ask them to unban me, I would love that.
And what happened?
I spammed. Do you know what spam means?
Oh, okay, okay.
I When I first started my Facebook page, I would just share like stupid stuff all the time, just memes, just trying to get likes. Uh, I guess they didn't like that because it was in English. Uh, and they said I posted too much, I guess. Uh,
But I think that a lot of people from Mexico group follow you already.
oh yeah?
Yeah, I think that the guys that want to play on Roll20 are already following you.
Oh, then yeah, you should all help me get unbanned from Heroclix Mexico, so I can get more people to follow me.
Of course. I'm going to try for sure.
Thank you, I appreciate it. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap up the episode right here. I think we got a lot of good conversations about your matches. I'm really happy you were able to come onto the show, Eddie. I was super happy to hear I got a national champion to come talk to us. So thank you for
Yeah,
coming out.
Yeah, no, thanks to you for all
Uh,
the.
so we will say goodbye to everybody. Say goodbye, Eddie.
Goodbye. See you. I hope I see you on the world.
I hope to see you too, man. Say goodbye, Paul.
Hope to see you in Worlds. Goodbye.
All right, good night, everybody. Hope to see you at Worlds as well.
Bye.
Pork chop sandwiches. Oh shit! Get the fuck out of here! What are you doing? Go! Get the fuck out of here, you stupid idiot! Fuck, we're all dead! Get the fuck out!